if you're watching this video, you are no doubt aware that Digimon originates from Japan. Although while many of us in the West were exposed to one form of the dub or the other, most prominently the US Fox Kids dub in my case and many Americans, and so it seems only natural that most Digimon would be designed and hail from Japan. But that's not always the case. Today's video we're going to be looking at 5 Digimon not from Japan.
Hey, come on! EX.
What's up everybody, recently showered and shaved Khan here, which explains the shiny face and the fact I'm wearing a cap, my hair's still wet. But yeah, today I want to talk about some Digimon who were not created in Japan. There are more than 5 examples of these, although a lot of them are harder to find documentation on or just don't particularly stand out. Although I will admit my number 5 choice is a little bit of a half and half. In at number 5 is Housemon. Now you may be familiar with Housemon if you've watched the original Digimon Adventure. It is the giant automaton that Puppetmon pilots. Now in the anime, especially the sub and pretty much the dub, this is not supposed to be a Digimon. It is very much intended to be a mech at best. Although there are Digimon recently like Comeon who kind of blur that line, right? But specifically in the Digimon Adventure Chinese manhwa, Housemon is specifically referred to as a Digimon and not just a giant house. I should say that this is specifically the American English translation of this manhwa. In the original Chinese, it is transliterated just as Mansion Giant. So yes, while the design is originally from Japan, it existing as a Digimon is very much a product of the manhwa. Whether or not you choose to believe that the original in the anime is intended to be a Digimon is up to you. I personally don't. But it does bring up interesting questions as to what the line between Digimon and monster and human and mech is. Like I say, in the Digimon Adventure 2020 anime, we have Comeon, who is a sentient life form but also appears to have jail cells as part of its body. Can it feel when people are walking around inside it? The line gets blurred, and that's why I think Housemon's pretty cool. 4th on the list is Hidemon. I had to talk about this again after we talked about the Digimon Force 3 last week. We don't even have a design for Hidemon, I'm so sorry. I will actually go into some more Digimon who never got designs in a future video. Appmon has quite a few of these. But Hidemon, as I said in the Force 3 video, was intended to be the antagonist Digimon for the Digimon Force 3 Digivice toy story. Obviously we have no idea what it would look like, but the Hyde in its name seems to hint at something like Jekyll and Hyde. Maybe inspired by the fact that we have human to spirit digivolution, maybe we would have a human Dr. Jekyll spirit or beast evolving in to Hidemon. We don't know. At some point I'd love to hire an artist to design Hidemon and kind of have a like, here's my take on it. What I do think is really cool about it is they obviously had a plan for this. You could also think of Hidemon maybe kind of like Arukenimon and Mummymon from 02. Having both human and Digimon forms. So what's cool about Hidemon is more about the premise and the fact that it's part of this cancelled American Digivice, more than the fact that, you know, it's a cool Digimon. In at number 3 is Gallantmon Chaos Mode. This is a Bandai of America exclusive design from the 8-inch Warp Digivolving figure line. And ostensibly it is just a repaint of Gallantmon Crimson Mode. Because they wanted something that could be the dark version of Gallantmon Crimson Mode, they designed Gallantmon Chaos Mode to digivolve from Chaos Gallantmon. But I think this is a cool idea. It's kind of like a weird side tangent to Megidramon. Chaos Gallantmon itself even being a slide form from Megidramon. I'm actually a big fan of when toy lines do this. Obviously I'd really like it if they did this in toy lines and then brought it into the shows, but I still dig it. The Power Rangers toy line stands out for this. During RPM they had toy exclusive Rangers, and throughout the entire history of Power Rangers there have been exclusive America only Zords. And obviously that was also Bandai of America. I kind of wish they'd done more of this, more American toy line Digimon. Not too many, but it does kind of make you wonder what could have been, you know? In at number 2, our penultimate one on the list is Cirromon. Now again, this is a little bit of a cheese, although I think it's less of a cheese than Housemon. Cirromon debuted in America in the Digimon Data Squad episode, A Birthday Christy Will Never Forget. But in the original Japanese version, it was not a friendly little orange throwing orange bombs. No, it was a bomber Nanimon. This, as far as I am aware, is one of the biggest changes in dub history. Plot lines have been changed around, they've cut out some some violence and things that wouldn't fly in America, but this is a whole redesign. Now I do want to give an honorable mention here, mainly because I can't fully fact check it to understand exactly what's going on with it, and I'm trying to do better at getting my facts straight for these videos. But Systemon CL, I believe, is a similar situation, where the original design of Systemon, or one of the Systemons, was very nun-like, and again, that might not have flown in America, but I don't know enough about that one, and that seems more video gamey. Cirromon appeared prominently in the anime and would have required not just a new 3D model, but repainting individual frames of animation. Apparently, because Data Squad was headed up by Disney, they mandated that they did not want anything in a children's show, a Disney children's show, to feature amusement parks being blown up by bombs, and that was kind of the whole thing of the episode in Japan. You can understand why Disney, with Disneyland, Disney World, and all their other amusement parks, probably wouldn't want to put out a product that featured that so prominently. So instead of Bomber Nanimon, we get Cirromon, who is a giant orange, throwing fruit bombs all over the place and causing a ruckus. Yeah, although the change is huge, and I mean maybe is a little bit oversensitive, I can really see why this happened, but I don't think Cirromon should be a joked about thing. I don't think it should be something that we like, oh, silly dub changes. I want them to embrace Cirromon. Bring him back. I want it to be how sometimes things like Godzilla, the American Godzilla in Japan, is laughed at and referred to as Zilla. I'd love a new season of the anime to bring back Cirromon and have other Nanimon just laughing at him and going, we throw bombs and punch and stuff, you throw fruit? Weirdo. And finally, in at number 1 is Bluecomon, or Belucomon, or Barucomon. It's Bluecomon. He's blue, that's why he's called Bluecomon. Bluecomon is not only not from Japan, but it is the first Digimon to be designed in China. Not like Housemon, this is a completely original Chinese design. Bluecomon debuted in the Chinese game Digimon Encounters. Digimon Encounters is a smartphone Digimon game in China that features both PvP and co-op gaming, as well as a bunch of raising options and like 200 odd Digimon. It's actually being discontinued this year, and I believe there is no English translation available, so unfortunately I can't play or stream it to get an idea of what it's like. But yes, for it, Bluecomon was created, and what I think is especially cool about Bluecomon is that obviously it's an original design, but it also has original Digivolutions. Bluecomon digivolves into Paledramon, see what they did there, then Chris Paledramon, see what they did there, and then finally Hexablaumon. This whole line is incredibly cool, and it's so weird that not only is it Chinese exclusive, but because Digimon Encounters is being cancelled and hasn't been picked up in the rest of the world, this may be the last we see of this Digimon. This entire line has huge potential, and I would love to see it be someone's partner Digimon in an anime or something like that, or at least come back for another game. The only saving grace here, which gives me some hope that the Bluecomon line might live outside of Digimon Encounters, is that this year a brand new Digimon V-Pair was released. The Digital Monster X version 3, a version of the V-Pair focused on the X antibody, was released in March in Japan of this year and America in April, though through Premium Bandai. There is still no English translation of this Digivice, although with the V-Pets, as long as you've got a guide, you don't really need understand what's going on. And Bluecomon is one of the child level Digimon that you can get in this V-Pair. So it's actually now migrated from being originally in Chinese to now being in an official Japanese product. And again, we may never see it again. This may be its last appearance, one last hurrah before Digimon Encounters closes in November of this year. But I really hope we see more of this design. Recently, Digimon has been killing it with these new rookies with excellent Digivolutions. We've seen Harrismon, we've seen Bluecomon, and in 2017 we saw Zubamon and its line. I'd love some kind of new Rumble game or something like that, just featuring all these brand new rookies that we've had in the last 5 years. So yes, while I may never actually get my hands on a Bluecomon in any game, so you know, Digimon survive, I'm just saying, I am such a huge fan of its design and genuinely hope that we see it again in the future. Anyway, that's my list of 5 of the coolest Digimon that were not created in Japan. There are more Digimon that weren't listed, so if you want to talk about them down below, please go ahead, or if you just want to give me your thoughts on these Digimon. Is this the first time you're hearing about these Digimon? If so, what do you think? There are glaring omissions from this list. You could technically count Angelamon if you wanted to, although I definitely wouldn't, although bear that in mind, we'll come back to it in December. But I really hope we see more Digimon created by different people, not necessarily not from Japan, but just by a swathe of different designers. I think this is such an exciting brand, and seeing brand new eyes do designs for it is always interesting. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. The support once again has been phenomenal. Like the video, leave a comment, please subscribe. You can always unsubscribe if the content isn't for you. I understand that times change and you may get bored of me, but I'd love it if you stayed around. See you next time, guys.